Is Blood Thunder shredded?
Yes.
Yeah. Blood Thunder's jacked, bro.
Dude, why is this guy the main character? What the fuck is going on?
Honestly,
Christ.
fair enough.
This guy
He
goes
kinda
fucking
is.
Super Saiyan and gets in every GDQ.
I mean, he literally just posted his muscles like today. Wait,
I
hold
can't-
on.
I need a
Cole live
picture of
muscle
this.
react in,
Yeah,
in the chat.
I want to see this. Damn, dude. What the fuck? God damn. Man, he doesn't even have good lighting and you can still see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You never seen that meme where it's like a guy like praying and it's like, may the tears of 2012, 2013, like it keeps scratching out to like the current year. And it's like, may the tears I cry in 2025 wet the pussies in 2026. I don't remember the actual quote.
Jesus Christ. No, I have not.
Are you serious?
Don't
You
your
guys make it
tears
sound
have
like it's bad.
That's not
don't your
my
tears
side
have like
of the
salt
internet.
in them? Wouldn't that do the opposite? That like just from a chemistry standpoint, I don't think the math is mathing right now. You know what I mean? Like
It may not be.
because
It's lube the
your
cheeks
tears have
we
s-
clap. That's what it was.
Well, that's
Sorry.
better than the other
Fucking-
version, I will say.
Yeah.
I'm not very elegant. Like I ain't a poet, you know.
And he
But
didn't
I'm
even
from like
know
hell to
it.
purgatory now.
I'm not a poet and I know it. And I'll clap my hands when I know it. Because I really want to show it.
Oh.
Her clapping her hands,
yeah.
that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
What you
That
clapping?
just ain't shot.
Welcome back to the podcast, everyone.
We're rusty.
Let's just get this over with. My name is Nestani.
Good
I'm
grief,
Jaxler.
bro. My name is DECosmic.
And I'm Coley.
And the gang is all back together. GDQ happened last week. What happened, guys? All right, I've done my
Yeah,
job.
what did
I'll
happen?
see you all later.
Oh.
Wait,
It was last week?
we can start
It
with
was.
Jaxler. There, I teed it up. Now I'm good.
Oh, you want to start with me? Oh, you want to start right with the trauma dumping? Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's start with Delaware. Delaware, go ahead.
We're never gonna. You're just gonna keep
Well, I
interrupting
guess- I
before
guess
they
we'll
even
just
get a
start-
sentence
Let's
out.
go
I'll just-
with Cole. How was your
How was your GDQ,
Great.
Cole?
Yeah. I watched a game where people fished, and then I watched a game where people slapped people.
Oh, you watched Silly Block? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I was waiting for Cosmic,
the bouncer?
Fair enough.
and I actually
The
watched both of you
bouncer.
live. Like you guys
Oh, hell
actually
yeah.
went on like perfect times for me to also.
Oh, so you watched my really bad Sea Frog run where I got beat like the brakes off of me.
I mean, that's
like
wasn't
playing
gonna
normal.
say it like that, but you could have done better.
I'll talk about what
I think I
happened
could've
there.
done better.
But first thing I guess is that we did our usual episode at GDQ.
Hashtag ad.
So that is
True.
hashtag ad.
should go watch that
we,
if you
we
haven't.
had Osborne and Metroid Crime on. We actually weren't in a hotel room this time. We borrowed the community meetup room, and then we didn't realize that room needed to be used, so we got shoot out there a little
got
bit.
Yeah, we got kicked out a little bit
We
early.
got hit with the
Yeah.
wrap it up. But
I was like, come on, bruh. Like, you can push back the talent orientation by like 20 minutes, bro. Like, it'll be okay.
But I will
You
say
know.
as well, like regardless of that, it kind of felt like, and I was talking to them after this. I was like, at that point, I didn't know if we had,
I don't know if we had 20 minutes left in the tank other than shooting the shit, but
and shooting the shit, and in terms of like questions I had prepared and all that. But
yeah.
it's a really interesting
mean-
conversation. So if you want to hear about like grassroots speedrunning organization, volunteering, two goofballs that I'm very good friends with, then you should check that
Yeah.
out. Hashtag ad, hashtag don't know
Hell yeah.
all. But go on, Cosmic. Sorry.
Well, no, you're good. No, I was gonna say, I mean, not that I think that the other episodes that we had in person were bad, but I do think that this is our strongest in-person episode,
Without a
even
doubt.
despite its length, and kind of the circumstances around the length kind of getting cut short. I do think that is like a video that people that are more interested in knowing about like the behind the scenes stuff and like. I mean, I even said it during the video, like without people like Crime and Osborne, we really wouldn't have as many great events as we do constantly to attend or to even play in online. So I think that having them on was important. And I think that it's a good insight into that. Plus, they both bounced off each other pretty well, so that was pretty dope.
It was a great time. Great time with great people.
Plus, we didn't do it in a hotel room, so even though it got cut short, I'm glad that there was like a mix up of the like a change up of the scenery. So, it was a little. Well, maybe we'll plan that out a little better the next time I'm at an event. But it is what it is.
We'll see. No, it was a week of fun and merriment. I have a lot of complex thoughts about this GDQ, but like Cosmic, I don't know if you want to just start with like literally anything about your week.
So I mean, well, first of all, I guess I just got to get the obvious out of the way, and like I had probably about 20 or 30 people go, dude, you look incredible, compared to how you like, I mean, they were being like real nice, but I was like, look, I know I looked like shit probably the last time you saw me.
Dude, you were fat as fuck before. What happened, dude?
There was there was even one dude that I met, or a couple of people that I met. One of them was Lion, who's one of like the horror guys or whatever. And he was like, I didn't realize that you were on a weight loss journey, because I was talking about rucking or whatever, because Captain Ezekiel, I think, is going to start doing that. And Mike Wave might actually as well.
Microwave.
Which I found out that his name is because he and his friends, when they described like a person's like type of music, instead of saying like person core, they would say like it's this person's wave.
Oh.
So yeah,
like
that's where Mike Wave.
Yeah,
exactly. So like it would be the Mike Wave, is like music that he really likes.
Interesting.
So yeah, I found that. I forget exactly how that came up, but I'm pretty sure he was high when he said it, but it made sense. So, but yeah, no, I showed Lion like pictures of me from like before the Dirge run from a year ago. And then he looks at it, and then he looks at me and he was like, dude. And I was just like, look, man, it took a lot, but here we are. So, and Death Tropes and his partner, they saw me in the hotel lobby as they were walking up to their room, and I like had to wave them down essentially because Tropes didn't recognize me from the last time that he had seen me.
Banger.
I was like,
ooh,
yes,
bangers.
Dude. Hell yeah.
What would be the funniest thing ever right now is that if you rebounded and then next GDQ you show up and you're like stocked up again.
It's like, dude, what the fuck happened?
Like, what the fuck did you do?
What happened this past year? You're just like, I just got Krispy Kreme donuts a lot, I couldn't have stopped.
Dude. Fuck, dude,
man. And you just do that every year, and people just get whiplash every time they see you, not to be confused with the game.
That's a good bit. I'm not sure if it's a healthy bit. I'm not sure it's a healthy bit, considering each one lasts approximately 2 years. But
hey,
it is what it is.
Dirty bulk's been going on for a little too long, bro. Like, come on.
But I was in the gym every day other than day 0. I did at least an hour for 6 out of those 7 days. The last day I did half an hour. One of those days I walked like almost 4 miles in an hour. And that was pretty tight. And that was because like I wanted to have the good food that I know is in Minneapolis. So I was like, I got to at least do something,
Fair.
So that was cool. It was kind of almost the same idea that I had at AGDQ, but I guess at AGDQ I needed to do less because I was heavier, so stuff was still going to burn off. And I think I broke even in terms of weight for this event. So that's pretty fucking cool. And I definitely ate more than I did at AGDQ. I think at AGDQ. At AGDQ, like, I think it was probably because it was so cold I didn't want to go out a whole lot. But here it was great. It was really good to be back in Minneapolis. I really like that city. If it was warmer year round, I would consider moving there, to be honest. I often do when I get there. It's pretty dope. There were people that I hadn't seen in like a year, like Dynamite Dan, that I was really stoked to see.
Yeah.
Yep. And No, it was cool that everybody was just, like happy for me, essentially. I know that I talk about like my weight loss a lot, but it is like extraordinary just how much better I feel, and that there was a lot of validation this week. So pretty sick.
That's great.
Yeah. No, because that was my first time seeing you too, in however long, and it was like I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily said anything about it right off the bat when I first ran into you, but I'm sure you probably saw the look on my face.
Yeah. Well, the way that you put it was funnier than most people, because you were tabling when I saw you, and you were like, dude, you just look so much healthier. And I was like, no, that's true. Like, and you were like, I don't want to put it like this, but I was like, literally, you're correct. Like, I think
my brain wanted to say you just look so much happier, but I was like, that was like, would have been a really fucked up thing to say. So I was like, what's another H word? What's another H word that I can throw in here?
You look a lot more hellish, Cosmic.
Yeah, you look like a hoe, actually.
God, I wish. But anyway,
where the hoes
like,
at?
It was like I had a lot more energy as well too, which is cool. I mean, I just have more energy in general than some days I know what to do with. So but I think probably the hardest part of getting back home in terms of that is not even going to be just like eating better, because I'm back on like my usual boring diet. It's just that now my body is used to more calories again after not having that many for a very long time. So I'm like, I think I need to eat an extra protein bar or something today. Sheesh.
Or you can just starve.
But, I mean, that's the idea, I guess.
I mean, that's my approach, but I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah, you gotta. I plan to go back down to the calorie deficit, but I'll just wean back into it. I went grocery shopping when I got home.
My approach is just eat what I want, just except not sweets, and then I just like pretend that's good enough. And sometimes it is.
Understandable.
Sometimes it isn't.
Dude, my problem is that it is just so much easier for me to not eat than to change what I eat. If that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's just like, I would so much rather starve myself than like eat the same amount but of better shit. Just because of the way it interacts with my
fair enough.
texture issues and shit.
Respectable.
I'd
rather eat one Krispy Kreme donut
and then starve. Yeah. Well, it's not even necessarily
then
like
eat
that.
3
It's
steaks.
like,
3 steaks or one Krispy Kreme donut. I'll take the donut, please.
Well, no. That's the other thing is I've been trying to prioritize protein way more.
Yeah.
Than just like
I know
empty
you have
carb
diabetes,
shit, and I'm like, if I like my thing is if it's like, and obviously this is not nutritional advice, but it's like.
It is. Take it. Gospel.
But it's like
Jesus on the
it's one of
pod
those things
right
where
now.
it's like I want to focus on the protein shit, and if I'm hungry and it's just like the only thing I have available to me is this empty calorie shit, then it's like, yeah, I might satiate the hunger, but is that really helping me here?
Yeah,
at least that's what I tell myself. But
that's why I have the protein bars, is because like at the very least, if I'm gonna reach for something, it'll be something good.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yep.
There was even a point where like at the Target I bought like protein chips, just like because it's a little snackier or whatever.
Yeah.
And they tasted actually pretty good. I just wish I hadn't bought the spicy ones, because those were pretty damn spicy.
Jaxler witnessed me go into Target last SGDQ and just buy a bunch of Kind bars, and I was like, this is what I'm going to eat the whole week.
That. Dude, there was like
And
just
I
like
still
a
eat
Kind
them.
box, like a bar of Kind Kind bars just appeared in the room, and I was just like, oh, good lord. There they are.
I'm anything but consistent.
I don't know if my dad gets them as much, but he did fuck with those for a good while, so I respect it.
They're pretty good.
They're pretty good, and
good.
like they're not terrible for you. They're not great for you either, but
yeah,
they're kind of neutral. Yeah. I would argue they're pretty neutral. And I don't eat a lot of them.
I will say too that like the gym at GDQ was one of my first like prolonged exposures to gym culture.
I hate gyms.
So like when I was in there, like I would get in there and just do my shit, like I'm going for an hour on the treadmill and I'm just like blocking out the world. I've got the headphones on, we're going.
Yeah.
And then I I'm like looking around while I'm doing this, right? Because
you just see Blood Thunder's giant muscles.
No, actually, I didn't see BT in there a lot because like he and I were just sort of on. Well, I was always getting up earlier. Is the thing?
Is Blood Thunder shredded?
Yeah.
Blood Thunder's jacked, bro.
Dude, why is this guy the main character? What the fuck is going on? Jesus
Honestly,
Christ.
fair enough.
This guy
He
goes
kinda
fucking
is.
Super Saiyan and gets in every GDQ. Like, Jesus.
I mean,
Yeah.
he literally just posted his muscles like today.
Yeah, and he was like,
Wait,
everybody's
hold
talking
on,
about
Cole,
getting
sick
sick.
live
for
muscle
this.
react in,
Yeah,
in the chat.
I want to see this. Damn, dude. What the fuck? God damn.
Yeah.
Man, he doesn't even have good lighting and you could still see it.
Yeah.
It should have been me.
It should have been me.
The thing is like,
Yeah.
what is it? What was I gonna say? Fuck.
You're in the gym.
Gym culture.
Blood Thunder. Well, I was gonna say Blood Thunder is what happens when somebody goes up to XLs and is jacked. So because like literally that dude is like a shirt size XL. He's just jacked, and I was a shirt size XL,
but you were
but
fat.
I was not jacked.
Oh.
I was fat. Yeah.
My bad. Read the room wrong there. I should.
No, you're good. I
Better option select next time. I got you. Actually, I'm allowed to call people fat because I've been fat. Okay, you know what I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. I think you get
but
the fat
I was like
pass
looking
once you're
around
fat.
once, yeah.
Or twice.
But I
in
was
my
like
case.
looking around, and there would be people that were like just kind of chilling on their phone for like 20 minutes, and then they'd like get to their thing. Or there was like somebody that was like using a leg press or whatever, and they like fiddled around on their phone for 5 minutes, adjusted the weights a little bit, then got back on their phone for another 5 minutes, and then tried like one press, and then they were like, this isn't right, and then like went back to adjust the weights again, and I'm like, are you gonna
do
anything, bro?
Oh, are you talking progressive
They
overload
could be
type of shit?
learning, but that is, yeah.
Well, it's just like it just seemed like they were more distracted than like than anything, or
scrolling
there'd be people that
TikTok.
were like
Well,
socializing.
when you're doing progressive overload type of shit, you have to take that rest in between sets because that's part of the way that those
I don't know,
workouts
I
are
don't think it was-
designed.
I
I
don't
think
this
it
is
was
particular
progressive
individual-
TikTok scrolling. That's what I think it was.
Yeah. That's kind of the vibe that I picked up. I mean, there was also people that were like socializing while like one person was using a machine, the other two were like talking or on their phones, and I'm like, and I say this to Blood Thunder, and he's like, dude, that's just how every gym is. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
well,
Damn.
I'm glad I don't go.
Surprised, honestly, because like especially since I was on vacation and I was at GDQ, like I want to get in there, do my hour, and then get the fuck out and go back to like, doing,
Having fun with your life.
not necessarily, yeah, essentially having fun with my life, because like, I mean, it feels good to like get that workout in and like just sweat out a lot of stuff, and then I go take my shower or
Endorphins.
whatever, all that fun stuff. It also kind of got me like energized for the days too, and put me on a little better of a structured schedule. But I was like, dude, like I don't got 3 hours to kill in here. I'm gonna regret it if I'm in here that long. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
But that was my big goal for this GDQ, outside of like obviously having like a good showcase, was making sure that I was in the gym like every day. So I accomplished that. That was pretty dope.
Yeah.
I don't understand how
Yeah.
people can go to the gym every day. Breaks my brain.
I
Like,
struggle with
I'm
2 to 3
hard
times
pressed to
a
do
week.
every other day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I
That's
complain,
fair.
and I'm like, "Why am I fat?" Can't think of any reason. I don't. I can't convince myself to do every day.
Habit.
Yeah, I've been trying to do
Yeah.
that for the past 7 years. So
Well, just keep trying
Sometimes-
harder.
yep.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I don't go to the gym at home, so like that's one thing.
I also don't go to the
Because
gym.
like when I go on my ruck walks, I'm like walking around neighborhoods and stuff, so I don't ever have to deal with anybody except for like the people that are. There was one lady today when I was walking around the neighborhood that like she was trying to find a house, and I guess she didn't know where she was, but like her car was slowly creeping up behind me as I was like walking. And I wanted to like knock on the window and be like, do you understand how creepy you're being? Like just inching your way along the sidewalk in your car behind somebody that's walking. Like, at least let me know, or at least ask me for directions or something. Like, come on, dude.
Or at least she just like stalk me a little bit better.
True, yeah. Stalk me a little more subtly. And then like she pulls in front of me and puts on her emergency lights or whatever it is, or the blinkers, those like double blinkers or whatever.
Hazards.
And then I guess her friend comes out of her house, and then they like start talking, and I'm like, good God, I thought I was about to get accosted or something.
Accosted.
Like, and it's just like, what the
whitest
fuck,
way
bro?
you could have put that.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
So
he's wearing a Linkin Park shirt.
But anyway,
yeah, it's part of the clothing.
Also true.
It's a good shirt.
Also true. Which, speaking of music, Babymetal was sick.
Oh yeah,
I heard there was a Babymetal concert.
I forgot you saw it was Metal.
Bloodywood.
Babymetal.
Which was Bloodywood, which is an Indian metal band, and then Ginger, who's from the Ukraine, and then Babymetal. Damn. And let me tell you, Babymetal, I don't really listen to them on their albums like that much, but they put on a damn good show.
For sure, yeah.
So I was quite impressed by all the, like, how just choreographed and like tight everything was.
Yeah, you see like any like K-pop, like K-rock, K-metal, like all of that shit. It's just gonna be super coordinated. It's definitely really fun to watch. That was like, I when I saw Dreamcatcher, that was like the thing that stood out too. Is just the coordination and everything. It's just fucking lit.
Yeah.
The amount of people that DQ'd out of the Evil Zone tournament just to go watch Babymetal was staggering.
I would do the same thing, and I'm a hater, but I would go see them live.
Yeah. I will say too that like the venue, the Armory that's in Minneapolis makes me like really jealous, because like the venues on the East Coast straight up are not that cool. Like I've been to a bunch of them, but the Armory was sick. There's like, it's huge, and there's just like bars lining both hallway, like both sides of everything, and there's like two levels essentially to it, because you can like walk upstairs to the bar areas. You can get non-alcoholic beverages from them, don't worry. But there's like 3 levels to this shit, and it was just a really dope, cool venue, and I was like, cool. Sick, dude. But I did understand one thing, is that people from the Midwest are not going to fight you if you go try and get your way to the front, because Ecdysis, Nolly, 8-Bit Monster, Dynamite Dan, and I, we just kind of like weaved our way through a ton of people. And Ecdysis kept looking like, we can go up further. And so I just like followed him. And we got pretty far forward, because I thought we were going to kind of be stuck towards the back. No. And he was like, nah, we could just go up this way. And I was like,
if there's anything sick. Midwesterners hate, it's conflict.
That's fair.
I mean, also, I feel like most of the time, if you're just slithering, you can get to the front. Like, if you're trying to go a straight line, probably not going to work out. But if you just bob and weave, you can get wherever you want on the floor.
In East Coast, some of the bigger East Coast concerts that I've been to, like, even if you're trying to slither, they're like, nah, dude. Like, I'm standing here. Like, you're not getting through.
Well, then you just move through them.
That's true.
Because no one's going to actually fight you. You just walk through them.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Also fair.
But also, I'm kind of tall and bigger than people, so.
Yeah, I'm not, dude. Yeah. Like,
you are the only person under 6 foot on this podcast, so.
It's true. It's tragic, but it's true. But that was really sick. I think that was also cool because it was like the night before my run, and like we got done all of that, and Captain Ezekiel's Oblivion run got pushed back far enough that like all of us were coming back from Babymetal, and we just got to go in and like sit right down for the Oblivion run. Nice. So that was tight. Plus, it was also a break from the event itself, so I kind of got to like mentally distance myself from my run that was coming up in the morning. Yeah. Right. Plus, like it was cool because I haven't really been to a concert that size in a while. So it was something else to like kind of fill the week up instead of just like, hanging out with people or standing around talking about getting food or whatever. It was something
literally
different.
The whole GDQ experience, standing around and being like, hey, do you want to get food? And that's like half the experience.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Which, I mean, then you get to go and get food with some of your friends and talk about whatever, which is base.
But it is funny that like half the time at
is half
GDQ
the
is
experience,
just talking to people like, hey, you want to get food?
And then you all go get food and you talk more.
That's great.
But it was a step in, like, because there's sometimes where like I have problems with like jam packing my day too much because I feel rushed or I feel anxious about stuff. So like the idea before of like going to a concert while at a convention in a city that I'm not really familiar with would have probably intimidated me in the past. But once I like saw how many people were going and like, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking go and have a good time. Hell yeah. You know,
just don't look at your bank account.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was fine.
Oh, okay.
That's fine too. I get paid tomorrow, so I'm banking.
I'm
dude.
rich.
So
Delaware
good.
says.
I don't know about all that, but
speaking
it's
of
not
rich,
even Delaware status, dude.
Jaxler, whatever.
What are you looking at me for?
Good. Talk about your shit, bro. It's your
I'm
turn.
talking about my shit.
It's your turn.
It's my turn. I don't know. Like for me, this week was other than the GDQ where we had Chibi Robo and Stewart in the same week. I think that was SGDQ 23. If I remember,
that was last year.
Was it 20? Oh, that was last year.
Yep.
Was that really last year?
Yes,
yeah,
it was last year.
Oh,
because I was there. That's why.
because Neopets was the year before that. Right.
I think we
Neopets
talked
was
about that run of the podcast.
Yeah. Other than that year, I think this was probably the most busy I have been at any GDQ point blank period. Between my run on Tuesday, I was also on couch for Pseudo Regalia later that day.
P letters.
Then I had a backup run I needed to have ready. I was on couch for 2 other backup runs. And then I was pulled onto couches last minute twice for this event too. And that's not even like, and that's just for on stream, like on marathon type
He's
of
a hot
shit.
commodity. He's hot.
There was like all sorts of other stuff we had going on. We had this, Osborne had like this big group go to dinner together. It was like, I think it was like 62 people swarming Margaritaville.
Group dinner begins
really funny.
now.
Which was really fun. Evil Zone tournament every year, obviously. Rivals 2 tournament this time around that I kind of had to be around for. And then Cosmic and I did our retro game store run as well, which we'll probably talk about at some point in a second. Which that's a fun story. And I don't know, like this GDQ's been really complicated for me because like this should have been one of my favorite GDQs, but it's just like, I think because of stuff we've kind of talked about on the podcast before with regards to Seafrog, in regards to my thoughts on the process, like those kind of thoughts just kind of came into my head a lot this week, especially with regards to my run. And maybe we can talk about our runs next, but so the Seafrog race was on Tuesday of that week, and it was a race between myself and Ice Swimfly. Swimfly played freaking great. I think was within 20 seconds of record. Damn. After time was called. So Swimfly played fucking lights out. And I played like fucking dog shit. I got like a 30-minute time by the end of things. My PB for reference is like a 24 low. And I literally PB'd the practice run I did right before that.
Interesting.
Damn, you used all your juice before us. That's unlucky.
What was
you
the
juiced
estimate?
it out before.
35. So it's not like I went over estimate or anything like that. Because
we chilling.
We're chilling, right? But it's like part of my frustration. So it wasn't entirely my fault. The PC I was playing on specifically had some like frame rate drops and some really unfortunate crucial moments. So there's this one skip that we do called Rat Skip, where we damage boost off of a rat and it lets us ramp up and through some spikes. I got an input drop when I was lining up the damage boost, so essentially I'm trying to drift to the left of the rat so he doesn't hit me until I'm ready. But the game ate my drift input, like part of the way through, so I just collided with the rat. And so that gave me one last chance at the skip, and then I choked my one shot at the skip. I got to try after that, but that put me like a minute in the hole. Then eventually it just got to the point where I was like dropping inputs to the point where I died during the final boss. It was pretty frustrating. But I'm not too bummed just because like Swimfly gave a really good showing of the game. But like just that compounded with the my thought process going into the event of like with Seafrog and second submission games and all that shit, it's just like it was probably my least favorite as a performance as a run that I've done, if that makes sense. I really just, you know, and it got complicated too, you know, so like there's also an incentive that we did with it as well to show off like the final escape sequence. We did that as a race, and I actually won that part of the race. So it's like, it's not like I didn't prove that I was good at the game or anything like that. That's not what I'm beating myself up over. It's just that I'm in this weird spot because a ton of people kept coming up to me during the event saying like, oh, I love your Seafrog run. That was a really good time. I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, no, like I played really bad. And it's like, it's a problem I've had with a couple of the past times where I've done either a race or a co-op with someone where it's like, I feel like people come up to me and give me congrats, but they don't come up to the other person nearly as much or give them nearly as much recognition. And I don't know how to take that feedback because it's like, I don't know if they're just saying that because, you know, I think a lot of people are just in the habit of, regardless of whether or not they actually saw your run or not, they're like, good job on your run, you know, I really enjoyed it, you know, type of stuff. And that's cool and all. Especially if it's like a friend being like, hey, good job, you know, cool. That's normal. I expect that. But it's just like in that specific case where I know I underperformed so hard on the gameplay side, where it's just like, are you coming up to me just to say this just because you want like, or like, what is the point of you saying this to me? Are you like, if that makes sense, I can't help but based on, you know, this is where I get into trauma dump shit where it's just like, I feel like you're saying this because you want me to like you, because you want something out of me, or like you want to start a conversation, or literally like there, and that maybe that's just imposter syndrome, but it's just like with how that went, you know, it's like I understand if people like it because they like my commentary or they like how I do shit like on that front, but it's like I wasn't the focus of that run either, right? So it's like it's either like the most prolific glaze of all time, or it's just like it's like
Damn.
I don't know how else to put it, right? It's like if
I'm
people
stealing
legitimately
that
enjoy
one, bro. The
and if
most
people
prolific
legitimately-
glaze. That's crazy. That's a yoink.
Damn.
I'm stealing that. I'm writing that down.
But it's like, you know, and it, you know, it'd be one thing if it was just like, oh, I had a one-off bad run, you know, what have you, right? But it's just like, again, because this all kind of ties into the whole second submission period thing, and where I feel like already kind of in a weird spot because I feel like I really pushed this because I wanted to get on main schedule, you know. And again, we kind of talked about a lot of the nuance of that before, you know. It's like, I care about the game, and I really worked hard at it, but it's also like, you know, the incentive structure is at play, you know. It's like, it just felt really uncomfortable, and I was in a pretty foul mood after that, if that makes sense, you know. I think at the end of the day, people still really enjoyed it, and I can't really convince them that they didn't enjoy it. But it's like, and obviously Swimfly played really well, so it's like, if you enjoyed it because Swimfly played really well, awesome, you know. I don't mind having Seafrog up there as an excuse to put Swimfly in the runner seat, because Swimfly is a turbo underrated up and coming speedrunner. So it's like, you know, I don't mind playing second fiddle for that reason, but it's like, I don't know.
I have two comments.
You sound like you want to say something.
Yeah, I just have two quick comments. One, no one knows that you're playing bad because no one really knows the game, right? So it's just like, you can maybe infer.
Dude, I died.
But like,
I don't die in Seafrog, bro.
Yeah, but also when they see estimate 35 minutes and you finished in what, 29, 30? Like you're still like well
30.
under estimate. Yeah. And then one dude got almost world record. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to be like, oh, Jax is probably like the standard run. And then this guy just went cracko mode, right?
Yeah, fair
Not to be confused with cracker mode.
Which I also went, but you know, that's a different point.
I don't know what it is about people that like get on camera against you, but they're just like, I gotta lock in.
Yeah,
quick.
True.
And
Everyone likes beating your ass, myself included.
Dude, I always feel like the one that gets cheered against, and it's like, I don't know how to feel about that. Like,
I was rooting for you, man. When I told you good job on, what I said to you in the practice room was good job on your run. Couldn't break the curse, but we'll get there someday.
Yeah.
You know,
I did win the Rabbits Go Home race. That
you did. You did win that.
That was an
That's
anomaly.
true.
I did play very good that run.
Yeah.
Did.
I will say though, for my second thing, I think the majority of people's enjoyment from watching runs, the gameplay literally doesn't fucking matter. You could play like a fucking garbage can. If you're funny and entertaining, whatever, people are gonna be like, "That's a good run," right? But if you're like a boring stick on a log, then like people are gonna be like, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to be like, "Wow, what a shitty run." They're just not going to say anything.
No, that's the thing is I felt like a bit of a stick on the log, if, for whatever lack of a better term, right? It's just like I really didn't feel like, you know, even in terms of that aspect, I really feel like I didn't bring that much to the table. So it's like, you know,
I mean, part of that just because it's like a new game, like you didn't like I feel like this is like the first game that you've had and the event that you like. I'm not gonna say didn't care about, but like you don't have like as much like years of like sinking your
emotional
teeth into
attachment to.
Yeah. Besides like I guess definitely. Like Word and Melody of the Under Oath, not to be confused with the metalcore band.
No, I went into that run with a lot more.
But I know you like that game a lot, so. But
I really like that. Game.
Was like the only other one that was like a newish
too.
Game, though. You know.
Yeah.
In part, this is Jaxler after all the white whales have been conquered. You know.
A little bit. But now, like, I think part of it too is I was just really bummed that Legacy of Kain didn't get in, because
that's fair.
I mean, I literally, the one full practice run I did in the practice room, I bopped my own world record by a minute.
Damn.
And I was just like disappointed, because that could have been such a crazy cool moment on the live stage. You know, no guarantee I would have played that good while commentating, but it's just
I'm still so mad that I dropped world record in my run.
There's
still
potential.
Mad about it.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
There's potential for it.
You know, so, you know, there was that, right? But that wasn't my whole week, obviously. So we had Pseudo Regalia as well, 100% full gold by Wilbun.
Banger.
As you might expect, that run went really, really well. Wilbun played fucking fantastic. And it was a really cool run too, because this was the first time the T-Tech had gotten shown off in the game for the first time. So for those who don't know, if you are walking into certain pieces of collision, typically like walls are like one-sided kind of, because like walls are funky in that game. So if you hit like F10 to like pull the game in and out of full screen mode, it lets you phase through certain walls and collisions. And so that had been found like about 5 hours after my run of the game at SGDQ 24, I believe. So it was really cool to kind of have that shown off for the first time. And then it was me, Vane, and Lori on the couch, and we had kind of rehearsed all of our parts really well. I just felt like a really well put together kind of showcase.
Yeah.
So I was pretty proud of that, you know, coming out of that. And then I was on couch for 2 other runs that I had not planned on going in. So the first one was actually on Sunday night, Monday morning, which was Hello Kitty Roller Rescue by Sega Star. So Sega Star is kind of a friend of mine from like the Chibi Robo friend group. He doesn't actually run Chibi Robo yet, but he's kind of like part of that friend group, if you will.
Yet.
And so, yeah, exactly like copium. But so this was his first GDQ run, right? And he had already planned on having Haxie as well as Dreaded, someone who had run the game, to be on couch, right? But Dreaded almost overslept. So like, as like a last minute thing, Sega Star DMs would be like, "Hey, my commentator is probably not going to make it oversleeping. Can you please hop in?" And I'm like, "I got you." And then she woke up, so she was able to make it onto the couch. But I was already on there with the headset by the time that things had gotten started up anyway. So it basically turned into a 3-person couch, and I kind of ended up being like the person who had no idea going in blind to this run. And so as a result, a bit that was planned for the guy who almost fell asleep ended up being my responsibility, because I was going in blind, which was to read the lore of the game from the game's instruction booklet. So I got to do a dramatic reading of Hello Kitty Roller Rescue, like prologue, which was really, really funny. And I was just really happy with how I handled that situation, just because I've always struggled as a commentator for games that aren't something I'm intimately familiar with, if that makes sense. Or like, I've always kind of been like, hadn't had that natural instinct of like, how do I ask questions? How do I point out things that like seem really cool or really weird or like that kind of shit? So this felt like a really good opportunity to practice that and like kind of grow into that, if that makes sense. And I feel like I did a pretty okay job on that front. And it was also just like, it's Hello Kitty Roller Rescue. That shit was so fucking weird and funny and just, I don't know. It was a good time. And then the other run I was on commentary for last minute because Helix was supposed to be on that couch, but she got sick, unfortunately, was Super Monkey Ball Touch and Roll. So Limey got that run pulled off a backup on the final day. So this was during their like checkpoint thing on the final day. And I got to be on couch to kind of be Limey's hype man. And I've never been on like a couch or any way involved with a run like that late into the finale day. And it was a fucking insane experience. I would go back and watch that run if you haven't. Just because like the energy of the room, like between that run and Pisa's run directly after, which was Mario Kart World, I think the total we raised was like $358,000.
That's so crazy.
In less than 2 hours.
Wow.
And a lot of that was during Limey's run, which is like a 30 to 35 minute run. It was pretty fucking incredible. And you know, to me, and I said this to Limey and a couple others, where it's just like I felt so grateful that Limey trusted me with that. Limey's been running that game for like around 12 years at this point.
Damn.
And this was kind of like his dream come true. Not only to run it, but to run it on finale. Or to like have it in such a big spotlight like that.
Right.
And Lemmy also played really damn fucking good. Because for those who don't know, this is a monkey ball game on a DS. So you move the monkey ball around with the DS touchscreen.
Ew.
Which is just fucking insane to me. And I said that like 3 times. I'm like, y'all realize he's doing this on a fucking DS touchscreen, right?
Fucking.
Like, I didn't say fucking.
Although
Osmond did say
stage.
cum dog during... Oh, I was on commentary for Quake as well. That was the whole thing as well.
Bro was like... He did say cum dog. Oh, by the way. Your brain. I get it.
Yeah, no, he said quadruple cum dog surprise to be specific. But
That's so funny.
Wow.
Yummy.
yeah.
Well, they'll let you get away with anything on the...
Yeah, I
on the
forgot it was on
stage,
comms
huh?
for Quake as well. That was a bit of a hectic one because like the incentive didn't get met for all secrets. So that was like a whole thing, but I've already been talking about me a lot. So it's like, I don't know, like I was very busy this week, not only on stream, but with like kind of the off stream shit, with like some of the tournaments that I was involved with and a part in, and also just like, I don't know, I felt like such a struggle to like spend time with all the people I wanted to spend time to this week. There was just so much going on, and I feel like I had to like choose between friends, and I felt really kind of fucked up about it. I know it's like not my fault, or you know, it's like
It's not my
people
fault I'm
understand,
so
but just,
popular, guys. You know, I just can't make time for
it's not
everyone.
even that. It's not even that. It's just like people's schedules, right? And just like opportunities that I couldn't take because I had responsibilities, right? More so.
Yeah.
And that was a little rough. But the time I did get to spend in the, you know, like Cosmic is probably an example of that, where it's like, I feel like even though like we did the podcast and we did the trip we'll talk about in a sec, I didn't really get to hang out with you all that much this week.
Yeah, no, I don't...
Like nearly as
think
much as
that
we had before. And that was kind of a bummer in some ways.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it was
but-
like
It'd be
I
fun
had
if he was
people
like,
that I
yeah, and
hadn't
it was
seen.
great. I was gonna be like, damn. Just the way his cadence
Honestly,
was
I
going,
would've
I was
understood
just
him
like,
on that.
whoa.
Well, they're just swing and a miss, but
Yeah.
but no, I mean, it was one of those things where like I also kind of struggled to get out with like as many people as I wanted to see, because like you know, we had the podcast thing going on Monday, so I was like, at least I'll get to see Jax then. But like, you know, Death Tropes and Loop were only there until like Thursday, and I really only got to see them until Wednesday. They got there like late Sunday as well. And then like getting people scrambled together for Pizza Luce was a bit of a struggle. We did that like one day. And then like Fru, KZ Fru, Mike Wave, and Blood Thunder all have birthdays that week.
Oh,
and
shit.
we corralled like 10 people into
Golden
going to the
Corral.
Indian place.
Oh.
And that was like, fortunately we had that figured out, but like that was a whole like few hours, because we had to like walk there, and then for some reason, even though we had a reservation, they were kind of flabbergasted that we were there.
Yeah.
Classic.
And all that fun stuff. But
Hey, you guys showed up.
you know, that's
weird.
That's another thing. But it's like, I feel like this is a weird way to frame this, but like I feel like if I ate more, I would have seen more people. right? But like I'm not gonna like
Yeah.
go out for every meal, right? So like there were times where I had just had like two protein bars, and I was like, I'm not going out for food, guys. Like I'm gonna find something else to do, you know. And sometimes that involved just kind of hanging out with the same people for a little while, but again, that's like just people that I don't get to chill with for a little bit.
Yeah.
It is just the great thing about GDQ is the more you go, the more people you meet. But then the heartbreaking thing about GDQ is that the more people you meet, the less time you have to see all of them comparatively.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, to some degree, that is a good problem to have, is having too many people that want to be around you, you know, and spend time with you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is,
so
you know,
bad.
like I have known Jax for longer than most people at the events. But the only times we really hung out were when we were like doing the podcast, or we were going to like the retro game store. And that was like Jax going, yo, dude, plans change. We're going to slot you in like the last seat of the car, you know? And so like that barely even happened as well. But fortunately he had the foresight to be like, no, that's Cosmic's seat.
That's Delaware. The entire
I appreciate
state
that.
is going in that seat.
The entire,
well, because I didn't want to break the
Delaware
tradition,
right there.
because like Cosmic and I
yeah.
make a run like at least once every GDQ that we go to
Facts.
together.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Should we? Should this be the time to show what you guys got?
oh yeah. So
Oh, I mean, I got
which
one
one
thing.
of us should
so
talk?
I'll-
Which one of us should talk about the barn? Well, I guess
you could do that while I grab my copy.
yeah. Go ahead
real
while you
quick,
grab what you got. Okay, so our kind of goal this like GDQ run was to try to go somewhere that was like pretty decently far away from everything else, so that the GDQ crowd wouldn't have like picked it over by the time we got there. So we eventually settled on this place called Gamers Row. And so this was given to us as a suggestion from my friend Sheena, who kind of like was like walking by, heard us talking about retro store stuff, and she was like, oh, y'all need to go to this place. This is the spot. And then just like disappeared from our lives. And so this was a spot that was like literally I want to say it was like a 50-minute drive north of the hotel. So this was pretty far out of the way. But basically this guy and his wife basically have this barn on their property. Like not like an old like wooden barn, but like a modern barn shed type of thing.
Yeah.
They just turned into their retro store, right? So it was like literally. So it like had a loft with like some setups with some like a Wii plugged in, like a PS2 plugged in, like some arcade machines. Like
that's
and
sick.
then on the bottom, yeah, and there's like table in the middle, a couple tables in the middle for people to play like card games and shit, and just like retro stuff and like, you know, it's just a retro store, right? And then the guy on like the back wall where you entered, like he had his own collection up there with all like his like craziest finds and trade-ins and shit. And so that's where we ended up going. So it was about it was 50 minutes there and then 50 minutes back. So it was a pretty big hike, but it was definitely worth it because we he had like a really, really solid selection in terms of like his PlayStation stuff was really solid. Oh my god! And the best part was like, at some point, like he was like someone like asked about loose discs or something like that, and so he goes into the back room and then comes out with all these fucking binders, like these huge ass binders full of loose discs, sorted by console. So like, here's the 360 binder, here's the PlayStation 1 binder,
fire.
here's the PS2 binder, here's the Sega binder,
The Bible.
here's the GameCube binder.
Bible.
Yeah, here's the
gaming
fucking
Bible.
Holy Sacrament. You know, it's like, and God, the amount of like cool, like it, like just being able to like sift through all this cool shit was just like so cool. And you know, like in
You even
terms
had
of
some
like
PlayStation demo discs in those
did,
loose disc
indeed.
things too. Yeah.
yeah, which you don't see
Yeah.
too many of those anymore. So it's like,
No.
and like the best part and the biggest reason we went is because his stuff was reasonably priced. Some of the stuff we got was like 10 to 15 underneath market. And he was like, he like struck a deal with me on like something I'll show you at the end, just because I was already spending a decent chunk there. But like, we found some really cool fucking shit there.
Bro emptied his wallet.
I didn't. Well,
He basically did.
I would say
yeah.
empty my wallet, but Cosmic, do you want to?
So
do you
what
want
did
to
the
start?
state of
Since
Delaware buy?
I got a fucking pile up here.
Yeah. So basically, I I'm reminded. So let me preface this by saying I am reminded that I own so many PS2 games now that when I go into a retro store, I have to start looking at the more expensive things to buy because I am out of all like the cheap shit. So I went in there with really like 3 objectives. Dynamite Dan wanted a copy of the Prince of Persia PS, like the reboot that's on PS3. He wanted a copy of the first Spider-Man game for PS2. And then Bobby wanted Croc Legend of the Gobos. Now, I got all of those pretty easily. So I started looking around for myself, and I was nearly tempted by the Spectre known as the Third Birthday on the PSP. Because he had a copy.
I didn't see that.
He had a copy of it. Yeah, he did.
Damn.
And I was like pretty tempted to be like, do I just splurge for a PSP right now and also this copy of the Third Birthday? And I went, no, I don't think I do. And so I ended up.
He did the opposite of what I did in 2023, where I said, do I want to buy a Dreamcast right now? And then I said, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was looking around because I decided, like, okay, I'm going to get something expensive, at least mildly expensive, by the standards of buying, 6th gen games. I looked through pretty much everything that he had, and I ended up back at the glass case. He had some pretty good stuff in there. He had like the original Suikoden. He had Phantom Brave. He had a couple other things, and I mean, most of it was RPGs. So I was like, I already have Lost Odyssey to get through, and I have Last Remnant to get through as well.
Yeah.
So I got a lot on my plate there. So I ended up picking up a copy of The Suffering, which was like $50. And this is a pretty reasonable price because I was like looking on eBay, and even like, so it doesn't have the manual, which whatever. But if you look at the manual, like if you look at manual-less like stuff on eBay, even the stuff that's like really, really damaged, like there's a copy on eBay right now that is listed and has like the cover art has like coffee stains on it. It's $40. So like this thing in really, really good condition for $50 without a manual, pretty reasonable price.
Yeah.
Plus it's a horror game that I haven't played. So I was like, cool.
And you're going to run next GDQ.
It's also a PS2 exclusive, right? If I'm correct.
I believe it's on Xbox as well, and it was on PC. And the reason that Maxi has not submitted it to a GDQ is because the port is so shitty and his computer is too good now for it that he cannot even run it anymore.
Well,
so all the cool stuff about that run. No, all the cool stuff about that runs on PC, which I'm good. So
you can
it's like a 20-minute run. So.
Cole, you got it, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Cole's going to run The Suffering.
Yeah.
Part of me
every day
does
he
kind
uses
of
the computer, he suffers. So, I think it would fit him.
Maybe I should have bought the Third Birthday because I have Parasite Eve 1 and 2, but I haven't played through either of those. And that would also involve buying another console. So maybe I will find other ways to play the Third Birthday in the future. We'll see.
Emulation. Legal emulation.
Possible. But we'll see.
Super legal.
I would at least buy a copy of the game for legal reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, put it on your computer legally with like one of those like PSP.
Yes, exactly. There are ways to rip these things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't download a car.
Yeah. I would not download a car. People have been saying it,
Definitely
so I wouldn't download a video game.
But that's really the big thing for me.
RAM.
I think I was mostly just happy that I was able to find those games for Dan and Bobby because, I will say Dan actually, watching Dan this event was like watching a proud parent see their kid grow up because last event
really
last event I was God. Like he pretty much hung out with me like the entire time, but there were more than a few times where like I went to do something and he was just like, all right, see ya, and then just like went off to do his own thing.
My bird is leaving the nest.
I was like hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. And I'm very curious to see in what direction Dan goes, not only with like, how he approaches going to these things, but also the kind of games that he picks up. Because, I thought he might go, because he's been hanging out with me and the horror crew a lot. I was like, maybe he'll pick up something a little edgier, sort of like Dirge of Cerberus is. But like, he says to me, like frame 1 when he's packing, dude, I'm going to learn the Neopets run from Jaxler. And I was like, oh, hell yeah, dude.
He's not going to learn it from Jaxler, but he will learn
No, he did learn it from me.
He learned.
I
spent like 2 hours.
I taught him all the way up through Act 1 pretty much at the practice room.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, guys. So, Jack said that he was going to teach me like all the cool shit in the Neopets route, and he never did it. And I just want to put that back on the record in case people forgot.
Well, I'm sorry. I mean, that offer is still open now. I will say, but I also have learned more of the new cool shit. Yeah. Oh, what time is it?
What year is it?
It's been a little while. But I mean, regardless, and like Dan is really going in the direction of like he might just end up running some very cheery games. Like he said that you, Jax, and him seem to share in a lot of the games that you played as kids. So I said to him, like, I'm very interested to see where you go with your submissions and like what future speed games you pick up, because Dan for a while was a guy that only ran Dirge of Cerberus, and he like had ideas for other games that he wanted to run, but now I think he's just like all in,
Yeah, I think kind of his brain has been open to the idea of what speedrunning can be.
Mm-hmm.
And
me
just
personally,
like
I
how
would
much
never
room
run
he
more
has
than
to
one
grow.
game.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Because he's got a lot, like, and I'm sure you know this dude, Cosmic, just from his Dirge experience, but he's got a lot of potential to like go crazy in a lot of games.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, in the first day, like, and he hadn't played the game in forever, but it's like I literally he already knows how to mega jump in Neopets. Like,
I can't do that,
and that's not something I teach people right away. Like, he already knows how to mega jump.
The way you guys are talking about him, he's like the main character in like a shonen anime, and you guys are like the different. It's like Goku with like the different senseis or whatever.
I don't know if you've seen Dan, but he looks like a main character, bro. Like, I'm just saying.
He kind of does, yeah.
He is, I think.
He has that swagger about
him.
him.
You do kind of got Steve Rogers vibes, yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
he just has that
cool.
microwave vibe about him. You know what I mean? You just know that he's going to be cracked.
Microwave.
Microwave.
Bobby and I kept saying Microwave's name like it was a Fatal Fury super. Microwave.
That's funny.
Microwave.
Microwave.
Before we
Jack,
lose track of it, I guess we have my turn, which is
It's my turn.
Oh yeah.
It's my turn.
You put the suffering back now.
Yeah, you can put the suffering back now. But I found some really goofy shit. The first thing I'll show is a copy of The Land Before Time Great Valley Racing Adventure. I grew up with this game, so I was required to have a copy of it. And I actually played it in the practice room. I actually got this to work. And wow, this game is like not very good. I'm sure you could have guessed.
Oh wow! So
it's not like
this game sucks.
So it's not like bad in the sense of like, oh, this game is like dog shit. It's like it's nothing burger. It's like Crash Bandicoot for like babies that haven't formed opposable thumbs yet. It's like it's just it is what it is. This is like peak silly awful game material.
Not to be confused with
probably
mid
do
or slop.
A handful of runs of this at some point just for the shits and giggles. But then I also found a copy of, let's see, it's Men in Black the series Crashdown for PS1.
Oh boy.
I could not get this to work on my PS2, but I might try it on another one I have. So this might be cooked, but like I was
okay. Sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, on my other
it's
PS2.
just like it was like my old one from
I have like 5 PS2s, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
dude,
I mean, I would
PS2
expect you to have 5. Honestly, I'm surprised you don't have 10. I would expect double digits from you, Delaware. I would expect you to own all the copies of the PS2s in Delaware.
Damn.
I feel like you and PMC Trilogy would own 50% of the PS2
in the United States.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Dude, they sold a lot of fucking PS2s. That's how don't underestimate Sony there. But apparently, like, someone overheard me talking about this in the practice room and was like, that is like one of the worst video games I have ever played.
Nice.
So I'm like, oh yeah.
I have to buy it. Yeah, that's how that
exactly.
goes.
Let's go, dude.
And then I also picked up I like to pick up like exclusives for like some of like PS2, Xbox, GameCube. So I found a copy of Hurdy-Gurdy for $10. This is classic Jaxler game, 3D action adventure type of shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect other than people are like,
from
hell
Toy Story
yeah,
3?
Hurdy-Gurdy. Yeah, no, Hurdy-Gurdy. This really Hurdy's the old Gurdy, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't know what to expect, but I'm excited because apparently this game is funny. So that's like kind of the weird Garbo shit that I got. Everything like I kind of sorted it in order of quality mostly. The next one I picked up that I've never been able to find a copy of is Link's Crossbow Training. This is like
damn.
Yeah, so this is like a game that was meant with like a Wii and nunchuck attachment called the Wii Zapper, where you just like hold it like a gun pretty much. And so this is like a game that went with that, and I'm like, this would be such a funny like thing to try to learn and mess around with.
You just bring a gun to GDQ stage.
Yeah, just bring a gun to GDQ, bro. Cause like, oh my god.
Good luck getting through TSA, bro.
I really want to go double check and see if I have it. I really want to go double check and see if I have it, but I have like a so we had like this shovelware like Remington bird hunt game, and it comes with like this orange plastic like shotgun thing where you put the Wii remote and nunchuck into it, and it's like a shotgun.
I think I have one of those.
Yeah. And I'm like, that would be such a funny incentive, is to have that as like the controller instead of the standard Wii Zapper. That shit would be so funny.
The incentive is bring out a gun.
Bring out the unleash the weapon.
Unleash the weapon.
Unleash the weapon. Oh shit.
Unleash the weapon.
Oh my god. So yeah, Link's Crossbow Training. I also figured too, it's a Zelda game, so that might be my ticket as like high tier, get my top tier in. And then for that, like the actual shit I'm really excited about that I picked. Not that I'm not hyped about all the shit I got, but like the shit that I was really stoked to see. I got a copy of Super Monkey Ball 2
Banger
on GameCube. This game is fucking gas.
That game is so good.
And it's like all like game. Complete in box.
Fuck
like
yeah, dude.
Disc is in really good shape, and like for $30, like that's pretty damn fucking good for how annoying this game is to find. So I was like,
back there.
Yeah, I kind of had to fucking take that.
I can't believe you didn't have that game. That's kind of wild.
So I had it growing up, but the disc broke. So I don't have. So we had to toss it. And then my mom didn't really save all of our game cases, unfortunately. That's why I don't have my original Chibi Robo case, for example. And then speaking of another game we picked up that I was really, I got this for like $6, which is crazy for how much I love this game. It's Knight's Journey into Dreams. This is a game by Sega. So it's like you're like this jester thing, like flying around these different levels, and it's a very movement heavy type of game. I fucking loved this game when I was younger, and I don't know what happened to our copy. Yeah, it's really dope, and so I'm really looking forward to like trying this and workshopping this as a run. I think in Sonic Adventure 1 in like the casino, like if you get into a certain pinball section, then you actually see a room where it's that game. I think it's that game. Yeah. Because it was made by Sega, and the original Nights into Dreams was a Sega Saturn game, I want to say. And it's also really, really good. Yeah, and then the last thing that I got, this was like kind of like the big spend for me, this event, is I found a loose disc of Pokemon Coliseum. This is like one of my favorite fucking games ever. And I didn't have my own copy of it because my brother took our childhood copy of it, so now I have my own. So that's very exciting. But yeah, no, like I said, part of the reason I spent as much as I did there is just because like I really fucked with the people who were operating the place. They were really nice people, and they were giving kind of me and everybody else who went really good deals. I know, so Shasta went with us as well and got some really good like DS shit that he was looking for pretty reasonable. And then we also went with my buddy Perk and Carmen, who Perk drove. Which shout outs to Perk if you're listening to this. Thank you for driving us. That's my go. Yeah. He recently got a PS2, so he's been trying to build up his PS2 collection. And he's found some really funny ass shit. And as thanks for the ride, I bought him his own copy of Stuart Little 2. They had a copy of that CIB for like
man, I can't believe
you just tipped your Uber driver.
Yeah, you just gave him some garbage, bro. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's not a tip.
No, he's like,
I feel
dude,
like
I really want this, but it's like, hey, he was like, hey, if you want to say thanks, I'm like, that's a great way of saying thanks. Actually, I'm going to take you up on that. But
is it thanks or is it punishment? Yeah. You know, no one knows.
No, he fucks with the rat, bro. I don't know.
Hey, true. But that game is the greatest game of all time, as long as I'm the one watching Jaxler play it.
Exactly.
And only
Dude,
100%.
oh my god! So
And
that
only
was our
100%.
retro store run, and I have pictures as well. Remind me to send y'all. I took some pictures from inside the place. It was
Inside
pretty
the
damn cool
NBA.
I knew they were legit when I saw like a copy of like an original copy of Final Fantasy VII's PC port in there. Like he just had the fucking like the box and everything in there. I was
That's
like,
cool.
God damn, dude.
That's
yeah,
cool
no,
as
they were
fuck.
gaming in there. It was crazy. I forgot too that I went to Level Up Minnesota, or Minneapolis with Death Dropes, Loop, and Dan. And the only thing that I picked up there, so Death Dropes actually got a pretty good haul if I remember, because he got Reservoir Dogs, Blood Rain 2, and something else, but I forget exactly what it was. But I ended up picking up Tenchu Fatal Shadows. So this is like a stealth ninja game.
He spent
It's the fourth in the
$39.99 on
Tenchu
that
series. I did spend $39.99. We're in
How
there.
did you
It's
know?
a stealth ninja game.
game. It was just a guess, a soul
but-
read, if you ask.
It's pretty cool. Apparently, From Software published this or something, but K2 was the one that developed it, I think.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting to check it out. I have like a copy of Wrath of Heaven back there as well, but I'll see how I feel about that. I am just kind of like collecting PS2 games at this point, and then eventually getting to them. So that was cool. I will say that there is an end of an era going on, because the copy of City Crisis that was at Level Up Minneapolis that has the words "No Joy" written on the cover that somebody just like wrote on there
That's funny.
is gone.
That's so
Yeah,
sad.
that's been there for like 2 or 3 years.
It's been there for
Unlucky.
like 2 or 3 years. It was unfortunate. I mean, I just remember seeing it because the first year I think that it was there, like the first year that GDQ was there, KZ Fru was on the run with us, and the Retro Store run, and he started cracking up after being like emotionless the entire time.
Yeah, he did. Right.
And then he just was like, somebody wrote "No Joy" on this shit, dude. And just immediately pulls out his phone to take a picture of it. And then I took the picture the next year, and then this year it's gone. Which, unlucky. But
Under
it is what
Fortnite.
it is.
You hate to see it.
Didn't get to go to Level Up St. Paul, but that's because we didn't feel like taking an Uber or anything.
Well,
Yeah.
But I guess
Do
we
you
might as
all
well just
have
get into
anything
talking
else?
about our runs.
Oh, right, we haven't talked
even
about your
covered,
runs yet.
our
Yeah,
run.
I kind of talked about Seafrog a little bit already.
Oh yeah, so
Here we go.
Well, so
Go ahead and talk about
here's
the
the
bouncer.
thing.
The bouncer.
The
Here's the thing about the bouncer. So the bouncer, number one, people got to understand that like this submission didn't happen without Asuka, because she like wanted to do this 3-way race, and then she made it very clear to me this shit was happening with or without me, and I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and hop on board then, you know.
I'll just say
to play
yes. Please
some-
don't murder me.
You know. And we were gonna get Wody actually to play the third character, but Wody wasn't able to go to SGDQ. So I said to Dan, I was like, Dan, do you want to learn your second speed game? And he was like, what do you got for me? And I just, slid the goods across the table to the bouncer. It was a really great experience, because we did like the closet cosplays of all the main characters that we were playing. Our host was really cool, Speff. I gave her the restream notes for everybody, which I didn't ever I didn't ever intend on like talking about them, but they're funny enough, I suppose. So like, there's a point on the restream notes where it's like, is there anything additional that the restreamers need to know about your run? And I just put the bouncer in all caps at the very bottom. So it was like all of this detailed stuff about like the mechanics of the game, and then it's like, anything else? Yeah, the bouncer.
The bouncer. Based.
So, and that was like me kind of taking the initiative a little bit more than I have in the past to make notes for like the host and for the restreamer. Because usually I will just kind of like give the host or the restreamers like a decent overview of things. But I really felt like I needed to kind of dig in here and do a little bit more extra work, because it was 3 different characters being played and everything. And there's a lot of times too where I think that with the host, it's not really super important that they know like every little thing that's going on in the game. But with how chaotic this run was going to end up being, I felt like I would have been doing Spef wrong if I didn't like inform her of everything, you know, to pay attention to, or things to watch out for, you know, in terms of like when I would likely call for donations, etc. And then obviously like the proposal happened after the run, which was pretty sick because it was like it added to the whirlwind. Yeah, it added to the whirlwind of everything that was going on because like now people are like, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's public proposal discourse out there, and I don't really care to get into it right here because I'm not going to pretend to know about somebody's relationship, you know, or anything like that. But it's discourse that will never go away.
And just to be clear as well, because I think some people were like, oh, this is taking away from, you know, Cosmic and Dan a little bit because they're also winners here. You two were in on it.
We were.
The whole, you were in on it going into it, so.
Yeah. And
you could have obviously vetoed it if you didn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, the first people that Dangerous asked were Dan and I. And that was his concern. He was like, look, guys, you know, if you think that this is going to take away from your showcase, then just say no, you know. And I said to him, I can think of no better way to end what will probably be the bouncer's only appearance at a GDQ. Then just because this is the thing, right? Is that like with the bouncer, that game, it like tonally it is all over the place, right? Like we start in a bar and then we eventually end up on a space laser, you know, fighting Kmart Sephiroth in overalls. And just like the amount of whiplash here. So like everybody's, you know, sat through the whole race and then it's like, wait, what? A marriage proposal. So I thought it would be cool to kind of just like add to the whole whiplash roller coaster of the scenario. I thought that was cool.
Listen, somebody proposed to their GDQ crush. And that's just
finally,
you know.
Yeah. Before finally, GDQ wins, anyone want to admit they have a crush?
I did one of those.
Oh yeah, the all-time fucking tweet, dude. That happened. Jaxler is determined to become a wife guy.
That was so good. All-time tweet from
so fucking funny.
Dude, it's funny too because I put that GDQ crush tweet up as like a honeypot, if that makes sense. Because if like anyone like was like weird or sketch about it, it was like the freest block of all fucking time.
Oh
like,
yeah, easy.
Like literally, that is the reason I put it up. Is I was just like, I need to like filter.
I thought
out
it was
the
just to
weird
make fun of Gabby, as per usual.
And Gabby, like I feel bad for Gabby because
will
like
never die.
Because like
she said,
the problem is like people have used the GDQ.
The tweet was so funny. She was like, really "I hate this shit, man."
It is really unfortunate because people have used the GDQ crush thing as an excuse to be really weird and uncomfortable towards women and like femme speedrunners.
Yeah.
And like,
of course.
So like,
naturally,
like part of me felt like that was like the first thing I said to like Gabby after I posted it. Is I was like, I need you to know this is not for what it usually is for. This is for I am trying to bait. This is like the ultimate like trap card. This is like the honeypot of all time. Like, but like even still, it's there's a lot of stuff going like on at the event too, with just like people being weird. There was one person, and maybe it's better if I talked about this off the record, but somebody who got banned at the event that I knew a little more personally. Nice. That was like really like, well, for one, racist.
It wasn't actually me.
Yeah, it wasn't actually.
They haven't caught me being racist yet, so it's not me yet.
Yeah, but it's just like, you know,
no one tell them.
You know, I don't know how much I should or even shouldn't talk about because I don't know if I get in trouble for like talking about shit.
Yeah, let's just leave that to.
Maybe I should just leave it there. But it's just like, you know, stuff like
so there was some drama.
Exactly. There was some drama, but also just me thinking about like past shit and just like I don't know. I was in a really weird headspace this GDQ, just with like a whole bunch of different shit. But I don't even like some of it's just like stray, you know, because sometimes you have like thoughts that come into your head, but it's like, you know, the same way like you deal with like emotions like anger or grief or what. It's like you can feel those things and those thoughts can come into your head. It's what you do with that stuff is what really matters at the end of the day. So it's like, how much do I even want to go into some of that shit, right? But I guess that kind of leads into like the other big thing that I did at this GDQ was I co-hosted a panel for the first time. So I did a panel with Osmorn actually, which was called A Conversation About Mental Health and Speedrunning. in which it was kind of like a very open-ended, like people could submit their questions either in person in the crowd or like via a form we had on Blue Sky. And we just kind of had like an hour conversation about like speedrunning, mental health, and some really interesting kind of with regards to like mentality, but also the way that people think about speedrunning and grind culture. It was a really interesting panel, and I was just,
yeah, it was pretty good.
It was a good time. And so that'll be up on the GDQ YouTube channel shortly. I don't know if it'll be up by the time this episode goes up, but if not, I will probably post about that on Blue Sky once it comes out. But that was another cool thing I got to be a part of too. But I won't completely retread over everything we talked about there, because that would just be a repeat.
Yeah,
and stuff I talked about on the podcast before too. But I guess the other thing too is just the amount of. It just was for all of like the ups and downs, just like the amount of the degree to which I continue to be blown away by how much people care about me is just like something I will never take for granted or really ever get used to. Just because I came from a world where, again, people don't really care about who you are, but what you are and what you have and what you do. Right. But, I have friends, and that's
flex.
I know, right? It's a crazy flex, but it's not something I could have said many years ago. So it's like
pretty sick.
It's different at GDQ, obviously, but it's like now the thing I always take away is like, now how do I take this and make it so I at least have a fraction of this where I'm from, right? Because it's it's great having online friends and all, but it's like where are my people in person where I live, right? So it's like,
hey man, you could just move down to where I am. It's a great place down here. It's good. Right. It's great.
You should move to Michigan.
Nah.
I think my place I think Tennessee is better than Michigan. I don't think that's a hot take.
I think Delaware is better than both of them.
Nah, definitely not.
Are we arguing over states now?
Dude, Delaware, you gotta go climb up the Appalachian Mountains just to go to the Walmart up there. Like, goodness gracious.
There are no mountains in Delaware, bro. What are you talking about?
Aren't you guys in like the Appalachian?
No, mountains? That's me,
like
nigga.
Motherfucker, it takes 3 hours.
Right next to like, really?
No, it isn't.
Oh my god.
Delaware is on the East Coast, like all the way to the right, bro. It takes
bro. It's like in the middle
3 hours
of the
to drive from Delaware top to bottom,
too.
bro. No, Delaware does not go into Maine, bro.
It takes like 3 hours to drive.
Not the state. I mean the mountain range. Like the mountains go all the way to Maine. So I figured
they do, but it's not like right along the coast. It like curves and shit.
Yeah, like a PP,
bro. That ain't it, bro.
It's right curve gang. Yeah, it's like.
But what I was gonna say about like the community stuff or like the friend stuff is that like that was like the bouncer run was really my first sort of like race on the main stage. Like I had obviously done RE5 co-op before, but that was like online. That was that's a little different.
Especially when it's co-op.
Yeah, to be doing like a race on the stage with like 2 other people that I've known for a little while. It was pretty cool because like the last couple of GDQ runs that I've had have been sort of like a test for myself. Like, can I actually present these games that don't just speak for themselves and how cool they are? Like how cool the run is. I think the Bouncer to an extent is really like not a terribly interesting run. But that's why we had like 3 people racing together, which is how it got chaotic and everything.
Yeah.
But it is tough knowing that like really the community that I have coming back home is like my fighting game dudes, or my fighting game people, since it's more than just dudes. But it's like, online friends are dope, but like when we think about how great we all feel seeing each other and like being able to, hug each other and hang out with each other. I was talking to Dan and who else was it? It was somebody else, but I think that I was saying, it's so it might have been Death Tropes and Loop, but it might have also not been. But I was like, it's very strange, I think, the feeling of being at a GDQ where you want to hang out with people or like go out every night of the week to have food with them, and that's like a mostly sort of like extroverted thing to experience. And so it's tough kind of coming down from that.
Yeah.
Because it is such an alien feeling most of the time where, you know, when we all go back to our havens, essentially, it's like, well, back to introvert mode because I don't get this same feeling that I do in person.
Right.
And it's such a, it's cool to see that sort of like little slice of paradise every once in a while. But I mean, I've ranted before that, you know, vacation kind of shows us what life could be, but you know, it is what it is. I suppose. I don't know how many I have left in me, but that's
it is what
I've got one more in me.
Yeah, but in terms of like, I guess where I'd rank this SGDQ, this is probably like my favorite so far because I worked on myself a lot. I prepared a pretty chaotic run. I hung out with a lot of people. I did a lot. I was pretty busy just doing a lot of stuff over the week. And it was pretty dope. Not without its drama for reasons not related to me, but you know, you can't do anything about that sometimes.
Yeah.
I did not get to see Maxie very much because Maxie's sleep schedule was whack. And then he got
same honestly.
He got what's it called? He got sick the last couple of days, or like the last day as well.
That sucks.
That would explain why I didn't see him on finale.
Yeah. And I also know that I probably won't be at AGDQ 2026 because Pittsburgh is cold, and I've been there twice now, and it has been very cold.
Like,
so so what I will say is that like I'll probably just go to Frosty Faustings for a few days to do like fighting game stuff because if I'm going to be
Chicago,
cold,
right?
Yeah, it's in Chicago. Yeah, it's in Illinois.
Shit, you better fucking drive down to Indy after that.
Right, for real. But I've never been to Chicago. So if I'm gonna be somewhere cold for a few days on vacation,
go somewhere new.
Yeah, I'm gonna at least go somewhere new.
Right.
You know. I'm gonna have to rescind my offer temporarily for Fru because I'm not thinking about Frosty Faustings. I was like, hey Fru, if you submit and get Far Cry 1 in, I'll show up for commentary. And now I'm like, I should probably rescind this.
Don't do that for this
Don't
one.
do that
Wait
until SGDQ.
Yeah, wait until
SGDQ. Yeah.
Please.
And I have like a bunch of ideas for submissions in mind, but really like the two big hurdles that I kind of have to get past are the end of August, which is when Lost Soul Aside comes out, which is this hack and slash that's been in development for like 10 years. And people have called like a marriage of Final Fantasy 15's aesthetics with like Devil May Cry. It's sort of like this vaporware
lofty
legend
expectations
of game development where this game finally coming out I think it's either gonna hit and be mid or hit and be totally forgettable.
Damn,
which is something that's mid can be. Something that's mid could be good, but not without flaws, you know, or it can be something that has a niche appeal to it. Sort of in the way that I think Vanquish is a pretty flawed game, but it is also a mechanically complex and interesting run. So that really depends. And then in August, Ninja Gaiden 4 comes out. And if Ninja Gaiden 4 ends up being like not having the curse of Ninja Gaiden 3 of having like a 3-hour run or some bullshit, then that is like primo. Also, I may learn Deadpool. Who knows? But that's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm kind of all over the place, and there's a lot that I want to work on. But I really needed this SGDQ, and it was sick. But I don't want to run a game like the Bouncer again for a little bit. In terms of like on the main stage, I really want to run like something technical and hype and something that I can.
That's kind of how I felt this GDQ because it's like the last couple of showcases I've done have been like races or co-op or bingo or type of shit.
I thought you were gonna say the last couple showcases were racism.
So it's just like
I mean, I was on his couch for 2 of them, so
yeah,
that's true. Yeah. But I was like, because Bobby wants to be on one of my couches. Bobby's never been on one of my couches, and I would be remiss if I were going to have Bobby on couch for like, I don't know, Gungrave Gore, where the game is just hold forward and hold shoot. You know?
Right.
So I would definitely want to have him on for like a DMC or a Ninja Gaiden or something.
Dude,
a Togi, I go back and forth on Togi too, because
you have this love-hate relationship
you
with
gotta
that
believe in
game.
yourself, man. You gotta submit to a Togi too.
It's a cool. I've submitted it before and it didn't get in because DMC5 got back up that event. But Otogi 2, I'm like, I gotta figure something out there because either I'm never gonna submit it or I'm gonna keep waffling on it. I don't know, man. But it's it's
cool.
a tough run with a couple of pain points that I'm like, can I get over these in a marathon setting? I'm not sure. So there will be a lot of extended stuff going on there, but those first couple of hurdles for release dates are really what I have to get past, unless I end up taking to RoboCop Rogue City Unfinished Business a lot, but doubtful there. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. That was like my big thing.
I think for me, just because Soul Reaver didn't get pulled off a backup, I was kind of prepared for like there's either a scenario where Soul Reaver gets pulled off a backup and I suddenly have 3 slots I need to think about, or Soul Reaver doesn't get pulled and I only have like 1 or 2 I need to think about now. So Soul Reaver didn't get pulled off a backup, so I basically have Frog Monster, Soul Reaver 1, Soul Reaver 2 remastered as like the incentive to go with it, and then Miscellaneous: A Tiny Tale is coming out in literally a couple days. I think it might come out this week. And that's a 3D Banjo-Kazooie collectathon type of shit that's being made by community members from the Chibi Robo community Discord. So I have been waiting on that game for about, God, has it been 4 or 5 years now? And I've played demos of it, and it has tech potential, I think. So I'm really interested to see what that game looks like now that it's coming out in a couple days. And if it's even remotely decent as a run, I am probably going to just run it.
Right.
And then after, Vex as well probably will be. So it's like at that point, I really don't need to worry too much about what to run next. So it's like a matter of, what do they take and kind of where do we go from here? Or
what you want to learn. Because it also gives you the opportunity to try more of the whack shit that you have, respectfully.
Yeah. Because I really want to try Knight's Journey into Dreams. I want to try Kaya Dark Lineage. It's a PS2 action adventure that I played casually on stream, that I really fell in love with, and I did the commentary for that at Speedrun, which is the French marathon that we did English restream for at GDQ, and I'm really excited to try that game because the run looks fucking cool.
Hell yeah, dude!
My flavor of cool, so it might not be everyone's thing, but it's like I really want to give that shit a shot.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I forgot to talk about Hungry Ghost.
Hungry Ghost. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Hungry Ghost on Tuesday morning at like 3 or 4 a.m. It was like 4 a.m. And that run is like 15 minutes. And I've been trying to get somebody to submit that game to a GDQ for like 3 years. And Schmumbler listened. So Death Trips and I did the commentary for it. And that run, I said it during the run, I was like, we're basically getting a vertical slice of what makes this game cool. But I felt like I was pretty happy with that commentary because I explained, what was cool about the game, and I explained some of the tech, and did like some play-by-play, and it was just dope. Like, I don't know, it was like a solid 15 minutes of just like, here's the game, here's some cool shit about it. A couple of zingers in there, and then we were out of there. It was also the first like 4 a.m. run that I actually got a nap in beforehand, so I was like feeling pretty pumped for it, dude.
Man, I wonder
that was
what
also
that's
Death
like.
Trips' Yeah, I don't know. Who knows, dude? Not you. But that was also Death Trips' first time actually doing commentary for like a game he doesn't run. So he was like sitting there. He like spoke a little bit, but he said he was kind of just like vibing and learning from Schmumbler and I, because he's never tackled a game that he doesn't know before, and I've tackled a bunch of them in terms of like doing commentary. Like I've done everything from like Control to this game in terms of games that I don't know I've done commentary for. But I was pretty happy with that. And I mean, I hope that Schmumbler gets a longer category for that game in so that we can explain it more, because Schmumbler calls time, and the like one of the first things they say is, listen, I promise this game is cooler than what you just saw. Because there's just so much more to it than like the way that you get to the end of the game.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I don't know why it wasn't part of Harbor Block, but I assume it was just scheduling issues.
Scheduling, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I was pretty happy with that. I do want to pick your brain on one last thing before we go, Jax.
Yeah, what's up?
And
Pick
that's
his nose. Do it.
Ew.
W nose picker.
Somebody asked me about this at the event, and they were basically asking, like, what do you think about all of the non-speedrunning or, like, non-video game playing sections of the show? And before we get into your answer, I will just give sort of a brief overview of my impressions. Was that, again, I talked about this before on the podcast, is that we're like 15 years out from the first novelty of speedrunning appearing. And I think that pretty much at this point, anything that helps them reach stability and like any sort of experimentation that kind of sticks is probably a good thing, because I want these events to be around longer. And if we become stagnant or complacent, then I fear that may not be the case. I mean, plus the Artist Alley was like, you know, a thing that while it wasn't on stream, that was a big experiment that the artists were very happy about. And
that's high.
Yeah, there was an
artist
alley. There was an artist alley and a game dev alley, so you could go and play. You can go play some game demos.
That's sick. What the hell? The event's cool now. Wait, I want to go.
Yeah. Goddamn.
It's AMD money, I guess.
And then they had that.
The AMD money.
They had that Megas concert, which, like, I'm sorry to the Megas. I find them a little like cornbally, but I was glad that they were there. Just, you know, sort of like because there were fans there of them. And it was just something different at the event that we hadn't really. I mean, there was a precursor to it with the crazy taxi thing, but that segment showed that, like, you can just have people show up for a concert at a GDQ, and have it be part of the event, and it will do some numbers. So overall, I'm kind of hype about all the experimenting that they've done, but I would agree too. Yeah.
I think GDQ has to innovate, or it's going to like die in the next couple of years. I think that's just the truth of it. Even though like GDQ is doing fine right
die. Now. I think that's a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not going to grow. It's not going to grow.
It's not going to grow.
Yeah. It's just going to kind of maintain.
Yeah. So it's like GDQ does need to innovate, I think, seriously, in order to get more people, like, to grow the community. And, you know, I think some experiments were successful and others weren't so. I think for me, the biggest point of contention was the community clash, which was basically GDQ Family Feud, essentially. And there were some highlights from that, but I know behind the scenes, technically, it was like really, really rough and a bunch of headaches. And I think some of these like experimentations could be better served as like planned out interstitial content versus stuff that people maybe submit for and get into the event's submission process wise. Because like some of these things I wasn't exactly happy with, like how things went down in terms of like the submission process, where it was just like, are we taking this because we think it'll be a good value add, or are we taking it because, you know, it's like XYZ person submitting because they're on staff, you know, it's like, that is what it is. I suppose there were several things about this event that I felt that way about. Where it's like, and sometimes I even feel like this with myself, where it's like, are you taking this game because it's me, or are you taking it on the merits of the game itself? And I tend to be the kind of person that I think the game should speak for itself more in a perfect world, right?
Right.
But, you know, I mean, shoot, there were some like showcases that like popped off. Like, you know, some of them were technically speedruns, but it was like, it was way more about the spectacle of the thing. I think two great examples were the AEW run, like the wrestling speed run, where they basically turned it into a wrestling show, and it's this really crazy, hilarious fucking thing. You should go back and watch that VOD.
Tons of like kayfabe for like an hour, essentially.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Pretty dope.
Like literally, the producer for the GDQ staff producer for the run, like played the heel, and like they had on 2chan as a couch. And 2chan literally is a wrestler.
She's a professional wrestler, yeah.
She is a professional
amateur wrestler, I guess, or whatever.
But
whatever
like, you know,
the term is.
Still, that's what she does, right?
Yeah.
And so that was really cool. And then also the Backyard Baseball 97 run by Anarchy was fucking hilarious, because you had two people on there doing mock backyard baseball commentary. If you play backyard baseball, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But also like the walk off, like the walk off, like the 2-run walk off home run to clinch in the bottom of the 10th by Ernie fucking Steele was fucking magical. It was like, you know, shit like that just gets people excited and gets people invested is like really good and healthy for the event, I think. So it's like, you know, I think me a couple years ago would have been like very anti this type of shit, but it's like, it opens the door for so much shit and for so many people, different people, to be a part of what speedrunning is and what GDQ is, that I think I think overall it's it needs to be refined. It needs to be worked on. And I think just based on reception, I think it has the potential to do a lot of good for our community and for the event in terms of raising money. So it's like, that's the other aspect of it too. So
I think I would rather them. Well, I was going to say, I think I would rather them try this stuff and stumble along the way than not try it at all. Yeah. So
that's the big thing.
I would also say, just like, I feel like, I think we mentioned this before, but I just feel like GDQ's kind of, I feel like, I know I've had this conversation with Cole at least 472 times, but I do think that speedrunning just kind of has a cap in terms of like what you can milk out of it content wise. So I feel like for GDQ, when like, I feel like it's kind of evolving, right? We're kind of like in the midst of GDQ evolving into more of a charity event, right? Just period charity event rather than solely a speedrunning event, right? And I feel like the focus is just shifting where it's just like, all right, let's do more of this charity stuff. And how do we get more butts in chairs? How do we get more people excited for things? We need to do other things outside of speedrunning because, you know, speedrunning, everyone knows what it is, right? And while I do think it'll be a backbone for GDQ forever, like I don't think it's going anywhere, but I do think that like having just like certain, even just like one thing a day that's not speedrunning related could be really cool. You know, it's just something that, and they
do that a lot already with like the interview team and their interstitial
with the
segments.
Interviews and all the other stuff. But I think even like more like stuff like I think I just think that there's definitely more to be done. And I think it's cool because like again like for me, whenever I go to GDQ, I made a joke about it earlier, but literally like what I do at GDQ is I basically stand around, I talk to people a little bit, and then I go eat. And then I literally repeat that for 7 days. And respectfully, it's not the most engaging thing of all time. It's pretty relaxing. Yeah. I like how I just get to like chill for like a week because I don't do that ever. Just ever.
I got to wear a bunch of fits that I haven't worn before, dude. So
yeah, you got to look snatch. You got to shake your ass in the wind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll show you the pictures
shake
later.
My ass, you know.
But yeah, I think that just like having like concerts and stuff, like I'm definitely stealing that tech of like seeing Babymetal. I'm definitely like whenever I go to GDQ next, I'm just gonna be like, is there any concerts going around that I want to?
Is there like anything interesting going on that I want to check out?
That's definitely tech stealing. I'm going to do that.
Metal Waldo and Rambo Rachel do this like every event, and before they were seeing like Guar and shit, and I was like, I'm not really into Guar, you know. Yeah. But then when Metal Waldo was like. Metal Waldo was like, do you want to go to a concert at GDQ? And I was mentally, I was like, here we fucking go, you know? And he said Babymetal. And I was like, hold on, who else is going to be there, you know? And so he was like, oh, Ginger and Bloodywood. And Ginger, I really like. Bloodywood is dope because they combine like traditional Indian like drums on some of their songs with rapping and like metal breakdowns as well. So they are an extremely like they are a very eclectic band and they are like incredible hype dudes. But like I'm like, oh, this will probably be a lot of money. And then I look and it was like $80 and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm in.
That's crazy.
See Babymetal, dude.
That's like, crazy, bro. I spent like I don't want to talk about it. See Dreamcatcher.
You probably spent a lot.
Yeah,
probably spent a lot.
Yeah, one of the highest price tickets I've paid for.
Yeah. Pretty
plus
dope.
the 4-hour drive.
But yeah, like now whenever I go to a GDQ, I'm gonna be like, so who's in the area right now? Who's at the Armory? The best thing was that the venue was literally a half a mile walk away. We all just walked over there as a group in like 20 minutes. Yeah,
that's dope. Fun.
Hell yeah,
it was sick.
That's really fun.
Yeah. We had to, on the way back, we had to like get through a sea of people and some guy trying to sell like off-brand Babymetal shirts for $10. But you know,
gotta get that grind.
You got to do in the city. It's true. He was out there like frame one. I was like, I want to punch you in the face, but like respect, you know.
Yeah, get your money, King.
True.
That's the end of the podcast, everyone.
Yeah.
You know, we just
yeah.
had to have an extended
Absolutely.
episode this time due to the 36-minute and 54-second episode that we had last week. So,
Yeah, you're
you know,
welcome.
we increased it a little bit this week, so you get the same amount of ETNA, which I know you all just can't get enough of us. You know, it's just like,
the next like few months.
yeah, you just
Next month or so.
need us all the way in, you know.
There are people, I will say, that are watching us, that are keeping up steady with it, and have
the amount of people that came up to me was like,
know.
yeah, no, this show is like a part, like it's part of my week. It's like I put it on like every week, you know. I'm like, just like, damn, like.
So shout outs to you. I think I said to Jax at some point, I was like, dude, think about this, that we have enough episodes at this point that if somebody were to watch like an episode a day, it would still take them over a month to actually catch up.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's like, holy shit, dude. Yeah. So
Fuck.
thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Jax,
We appreciate
do you
that
have
people care
anything
about what we
to-
have to say. So I believe on the day this is going live, which is Thursday the 17th, I will be on GDQ Hotfix.
Friday.
Showing
You mean,
off.
This show goes up
Friday,
on
the
Friday
18th.
The 18th.
Oh,
That's
Friday.
when-
Sorry.
Friday.
I lied.
Yeah.
I'm such a good liar. Holy shit.
You
You
bro's
said it pretty
lying for
confidently,
attention
I
over
have
there.
to say. Yeah.
Yeah, you did say it. So
Wait, no,
you
it
were,
is on
you were
Friday.
so
It's on the 18th.
confidently wrong.
Wait, no. I got the number wrong, but the day right. So it is
okay,
Friday the 18th.
Well, you also said Thursday.
I thought-
but, so you got the
Yeah,
you got the date.
I thought it was Thursday.
and
It's
the day
actually
wrong.
Friday. So it's on Friday. Let's be very clear. It's on Friday
Career.
at like.
Let's be very clear.
Show starts at 7 p.m. I will be closing out the show with Soul Reaver All Bosses.
Yeah.
And then I will also be doing commentary for the run before that for Cavern of Dreams All Legs by Mouse Shy. Those will both be really, really fun. And that will be in fact on Friday.
Wow.
Other than
Speedrunning the
that-
new Donkey Kong.
Oh, is that also coming out?
Yeah, that comes out on. Anyway, sorry, that was a bad joke.
You're
We're
good.
trying to wrap it up here. I'm being bad.
Yeah, but
I would run the Donkey Kong game if someone bought me a Switch too.
I won't be doing that.
Too bad. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. If you all want me to run Donkey Kong, someone can buy me the Switch too, and I'll do it. I'll get record.
yeah, you probably
Damn.
would.
Probably. Yeah. I'll let
Like,
you know when I
wouldn't
have a
even be
spare
close.
like $560 or $560.
Yeah. Whoever wants to spend $560 on me, please let me know. Thanks.
If you want to be Nestani's sugar mommy or sugar daddy, go in the comments below.
Yeah, actually, don't
Let
go
us
to the
know.
comments below. Just go to my Twitch channel and go to the tip link and just go ahead and just like get it over with. We
Yeah,
don't
just-
need to.
Done.
We can cut out the middleman. Cosmic,
So true.
Delaware, Coley. Anything for you all to shout out?
I was gonna say I'm gonna try and stream a little more since there's stuff that I want to work on. I probably am gonna go back to DMC4 for a little bit, even though that game's being a pain in the ass right now with starting up. I have to force it into 640 by 480p resolution on startup, so then it doesn't just close immediately, but then it reverts immediately to the correct resolution. Anyway,
Great.
that port sucks ass.
Yeah.
It's optimized so well, but also it sucks. It's so weird. But I think that, I was running the bouncer a little bit, like on the Monday, like the Monday of the week that this comes out. I was running the bouncer a little bit. Maybe I'll just continue to do that until I have a 20 in Scion or Sion, because Sion is the only character to not ever have a 20-minute run. So maybe I'll do that. But generally, I just have stuff that I'm kind of waiting on. I'm going to see what projects in the interim I want to do. Who knows? But I'm going to try and stream more. Which will be a change up from how last year has been. So, yeah, look forward to that possibly.
Delaware streams coming to a Delaware near you.
Whoa.
Tax free, baby.
Yeah. Mr.
All right, Cole,
Coley,
what's up?
That's true.
you have anything?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Dude.
You're a speedrunner now, though.
You're working on a
Hashtag
video.
speedrun Sundays?
Yeah, I've been doing Scooby Unmasked, but after that, it's Sonic Heroes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let's go.
He's learning a
The
non-Scooby
people
game,
have been
guys.
waiting.
Code red,
I
code
know.
red,
Let's
code red.
Let's go. Let's go.
So
Dude, fuck.
Fuck yes.
it'll be
Goodbye
weird.
forever.
Go away.
Goodbye.
Get out of here.
I'm gonna poke your eye out.